Yes, I'm really happy about the results because we know that now when the time is going, it's more difficult to play because the season is long. We start to have practice, travel. It's not easy to play every time perfectly, but I think that it's important really now to have one result. And the girls, I think that they're really good because we played, I think, they're really two matches, two sets. After they play better than us, but in the more important moment, I think that the girls today, they really did a good job. No mistakes. This is not easy when you arrive in the fifth set, but no mistakes. It's really important. And so we add 1 point to our ranking, that it's really important because now I think that the best goal that we can reach is to arrive in the first two. I think that could be important. We saw also then we didn't arrive in the first two. We are winning the tournament, but I think that if we have this goal, we can play, we can lose, we can win. But it's important to keep the rhythm high because we have also again 3 weeks, 4 weeks before the final, and we need to rest a lot, but also to work good, and if it's possible, to win.
I mean, I think volleyball is really a game of ebb and flow and momentum pulls and pushes, and I think you saw that tonight throughout the entire match. And I feel like I say this every time I'm in a press conference, but this team just continues to build grit, and I think that's one of our biggest strengths is even when things aren't going well, continuing to knock at that door and try to find ways to put pressure on the other team when things aren't always going well. And I think, we did a good job. Everybody who came in tonight played a really big part in winning that match, and I think that's props to the work that we've been putting in these past few months.
It's a lot of fun to watch. So, I guess going into tomorrow's matchup against Austin, any thoughts there? What is your mindset going into tomorrow?
I think I think we've had a tendency to struggle on the second nights of back-to-backs, and I think that has been more of a mental thing. So I think tonight, being able to be at home and take advantage of resting and doing what we need to do to prepare and recover for tomorrow, I think is going to be huge. But yeah, I mean, Austin's a great team and they're a lot different than Atlanta, so it'll be a different match, but it's always a competitive battle between the two Texas teams, so we're just really excited.
Showdown. It's our last one. All right, that's it.
Thank you.
Yes. How do you adapt, and it kind of flows with what you already kind of answered, but how do you adapt your play style to different opponents and even one player?
Can you repeat the question? I'm so sorry. No.
Se vuoi, I translate.
So how do you adapt your play style to different opponents?
Yeah, I think each team is going to have their strengths and weaknesses, or not even weaknesses, but things maybe they're just not as strong at. And so I think part of picking the lock against each team is figuring out, okay, what things that they're not so strong at, I don't even know if it's fair to call it weaknesses, but where can we expose them, and what matchups do we have that could be beneficial to us. And so I think it's a lot of honestly talking with our middles and our blocking scheme, how we're going to work with that, what we're going to do. We're talking with the setters and what's going to be open or what's going to maybe be most successful against their block and defense. And I think that just comes with scouting, knowing the players. I think it's really helpful that we know so many of these people from either national team, college, playing with them or against them overseas. So I think having that knowledge of each player on each team is really helpful.
Like, what was your mental approach for tonight? Did you have any personal goals for tonight's match for yourself?
I think like mental preparation for me personally is like typically the same. I like to treat all matches the same, but like especially going into a match with a team like Atlanta, like you knew it was going to be a grind and you knew it was going to be a battle because like they're number one and they're number one for a reason. Like they're a very good team and they pass really well, so we knew that it was going to be, you know, tough to defend. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I had any like personal goals. My goal is always to win, and I think Jordan's also. But yeah, I would say just like mental preparation for every match is like kind of the same, but knowing that it's just going to be a battle and like how do you get yourself through that successfully.